Hey guys, it's Miz and it is what it is, and today we're going to be doing the Christian Girl Tag. The question is, why did you start YouTube? And for me, I feel like I started YouTube because I would always watch YouTube videos and I would get inspired and I would be like, oh my gosh, like this would be so fun to do. I would constantly like recreate the videos that were being made. So I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a time and place when like they would do like music videos with like iMovie Maker and like all the weird aesthetics and stuff like that. Like Sony Movie Magic was like the top editor back then in the days, and I was like, that would have been so much fun. And so I thought I really loved video like that, so I ended up going to school for cinematography, but then I soon found out that it's something that I don't want to do. So I'm just kind of like taking back my love and my passion and slowly figuring out what I want to do with my YouTube channel, because being in the mix of college, it kind of made me not want to continue with my YouTube, just because I just was like working with cameras and editing so much. I was like kind of burnt out from it. So now I'm taking it at my own pace and my own time, and I feel like that's definitely helped me find my love and passion for YouTube again. The next question is, when did you give your life to Christ? When I was younger, I want to say maybe like 2006, 2007 is when I was baptized. I don't have my certificate. I think my mom has it. But I kind of stopped going to church during the time I was in high school just because I was working. I was in 3 different clubs, and then I got into a relationship my senior year, so I was just so busy that I was like, God was like the last thing on my plate. I was definitely doing my life on my own, like, oh yeah, like this is what I'm gonna do, blah blah blah, and I didn't make it a priority. Like I would always be like, yeah, I'm so tired. I would genuinely be working on Sundays, so I just didn't have time to go to church like I wanted to. And we didn't have a home church. Well, we did, but it was just like a long drive, and I was like, I'm exhausted. And yeah, so then like I finally I gave my life to Christ when I was younger, but my relationship with him started to flourish more in 2020. What is the first thing you had to let go once you were saved? So this question says, what is the first thing you had to let go once you were saved? And I'm going to refer to everything back to 2020 because that's when like my relationship with the Lord really grew. And I would have to say something that I had to let go of, that I was being stubborn about, because I would constantly pray about it and I would always get like gut feelings about it, or I would honestly like get confirmation from people, or people would ask me questions about it, and that was my relationship with my ex. And I was just like my grandma, she was like, so when are you guys getting married? I'm like, I don't know, like I'm waiting on him, blah blah blah. And I would constantly pray, and like I just would feel so sad and like lonely and all that stuff, because that's kind of how I was feeling in the relationship. And so that was one thing that I definitely had to let go, because that was kind of holding me back from a lot of stuff, because I definitely was making my life revolve around him, like when he's gonna do this, when he's gonna do that. And I never really was able to take back my own life and be like, okay, so like this is when we're gonna do this, Miz, and this is when you're gonna get your car, or this is when we're gonna move out. Like I was always like, okay, like, well, he's waiting to pay off his car in that year, so I'm gonna wait, okay, and then I'm gonna wait to move out with him, and okay, and yeah, so it was constantly like a waiting game. So that's something that I had to let go, was like that relationship definitely had to go, because I was constantly dependent on this person and relying on his schedule when my schedule was on a completely different timeline. Next question is, what is your definition of being saved? The definition of being saved is believing that the definition of being saved is so hard for me. The definition of being saved in 2019 for me would have been, well, like, yeah, I know God, and he loves me, and he died for my sins, so like I'm saved, I believe in him, so that's what it means. But in 2020, I feel like saved in 2019 for me would have been, well, like, yeah, I know God, and he loves me, and he died for my sins, so like I'm saved, I believe in him, so that's what it means. But in 2020, I feel like being saved, man, being saved, like from the growth that had happened in 2020, I remember thinking, man, I don't just want to know of God, but I want to know God. Because if I'm truly saved, I wouldn't be continuing to know God and continue to still live on my own fleshly desires versus having a relationship with God and following what He's asked me to do. And that for me is being saved, because I switched my mindset to being worldly to walking by the fruit of the Spirit. And for me, and you can see things differently when, like, I mean, I don't know, like, I can't even really answer that. Like, I feel like being saved, how do I, like, break this down? Being saved, like, you have this different desire and burning passion for the Lord, and I just can't really put into words. It's just like, okay, like, I want to read my Bible every single day. I want to listen to sermons. I want to listen to podcasts that are talking about God. I want to read books about God. Like, being saved, like, I just want to be in His presence so much. Like, I just genuinely can't help it. I don't know if I even answer that, but that question was hard. I don't know why that one was so hard, but we're going to the next one. Do you have any advice who wants to give his or her life to Christ? Whew, that's not hard, but I'm just gonna say my advice is I'm not gonna force you, because I remember I was like, you know, you should start reading your Bible, and like, this verse is so good, and like doing Bible studies. And I remember you could just tell that, I don't know, wait. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to give his or her life to Christ? I don't know what I was expecting in 2020. And so with that being said, that was when I actually gave my life to Christ. Like, again, I was like, you can have it all. And I was not expecting to go through a breakup. I was not expecting for internships to fail. I was not expecting to have college online. I was not expecting to be unemployed. I was not expecting to go through depression. I was not expecting to have anxiety. I was not expecting to go through mental breakdowns. And the advice I would give you is that even though I went through all those things that seemed so horrible, those things had to happen, because I would have never been prepared for today to give you this advice. I would never be prepared for what He has in store for me in the future. Like, I would not be prepared to want to switch my major. I would not have the confidence to be sitting here giving advice the way that I am, because I've gone through so much stuff. I've cried so many days, but I've cried so many days because I'm very passionate about my life. Yeah, you can say I'm sensitive, but I really care about everything I do in my life. I'm very intentional with what I do, and I'm an emotional person because I care and I love so deeply. And I'm glad that I'm emotional. If you're the same way, be happy you're emotional, because some people get so defensive if you're emotional, but I'm emotional because I'm so passionate about this. And if you're thinking about giving your life to Christ, do it, because it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Even though those things happened to me, it has been the best things that happened to me, because I just can't put into words. I would not be the person sitting here today, happy, excited, bubbly. If those things didn't happen, I'd probably be the same person, being content, settling for what's not good for me anymore. I would be honestly just going through the motions, taking it day by day. I don't want to just sit here and take every single day, day by day. That's not something I personally want to do. I constantly want to strive for better. I constantly want to strive for more. And if that means, Lord, have an everything must go sale, remove everything that is not supposed to walk with me in 2021, go ahead, take it away. And that's how you should be. Because, I mean, sometimes you got to be lonely. Sometimes you feel alone. Sometimes you're sad. Sometimes you're crying. But just know God is with you every single step of the way. And what you have to offer yourself is not even enough compared to what God is going to give you. And that's what keeps me going every single day. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this doesn't make any sense. I don't see it. But you're not supposed to walk by sight. You're supposed to walk by faith. And that just keeps me going every single day. And so, yeah, Just give it up like right now. Just kidding. Okay. Lesson God has taught you so far on your journey is, there's so many lessons. Okay. Think. I think I put this in my Instagram caption, and I talked about God was the only thing that remained consistent in a year full of constant change. Does that make sense? So one lesson I learned was that God was the only thing that stayed consistent in a year full of constant change. And you know, like, people fall out of love. People, you know, you don't get that internship anymore. You are not friends with that person anymore. You don't talk to that person anymore. You've moved, and so you guys don't have that relationship anymore. Things are different for you. You're alone. You moved into a different city, and you don't have anyone to talk to. You don't even have the job that you started out with in your new city anymore. Those were things that were constant changes for me, but the one thing that constantly remained the same was God. I was able to pray. I was able to read my word. The Bible's words did not change, and they remained the same, and they kept me going. Memorizing Bible verses kept me going. My friends who are believers, they kept me going because they were also pouring into me, and they were doing Bible study. We were doing Bible study every single week, and that is something that I can honestly say is the biggest lesson in my life, is that, hey, your world might be crumbling. You might not see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just focus on God, He's always been there. He's always remained faithful. He's always remains good, and that has been an extreme encouragement for me, because, man, 2020 was rough for all of us, hands down. But if you focused on God, that was the only thing that stayed the same, and that was such a blessing to me. Name two sins you've struggled with. I definitely would say I struggled with lust, and I used to cuss a lot. So being in a relationship, I just became like super lustful. I was like, oh, like, my ex is super attractive, so like I just became lustful. Like, I was a lustful human being. I was just like lost. Like, I was just doing things that I never, like, I was just doing I was doing extra stuff, just to like get him to like love me more. I just honestly felt like, and this has like nothing to do with him, this is just like me personally, I just felt like, man, our relationship's kind of going downhill, so I feel like I have to do more extravagant things in order for him to love me, and the only time I felt loved is when we were doing things together. And second, when I got into the relationship, my ex would cuss all the time, and I didn't really cuss. Like, before the relationship, I didn't cuss. I'd be like, what the heck? Or like, I would cuss like once when like they were like, oh man, like, you cuss. Like, that was it. But like, once I started dating my ex, like, he was cussing up a storm, like cussing. And so like, I constantly say, you are who you hang out with, and I always tell him that too. And I was cussing too. Like, I was just like cussing. Like, I remember my mom, she was like, we were at like a water park, and like I was cussing at my friend, blah blah blah, and all my friends were like, because I was cussing and I didn't know my mom was behind me, and I was like, oh, like, I just said blah blah blah. So that obviously got me into lying too. So I was just like doing things that I normally didn't do prior to the relationship. So I didn't also, like, at the time, I just was like, I love him so much, so like, I don't really care. Like, he's doing it, so I'm doing it too. Like, he's my man, boop. And so never again. Who is a godly role model? I can't think of them right now, but I can put them on the screen. Godly role model. The question is godly role model, but I'm just gonna say people who are Christian, that I'm like, okay, like, their walk encourages me to step up my game and walk more. They encourage me to worship more. They encourage me to read my Bible more. And like, she has a podcast, so of course I'm encouraged by her. So I'm not gonna, I don't know, role model, just like weird or whatever. So I'm just gonna leave them right here on the screen. What are your goals, visions, and dreams? So my goal is to have a successful YouTube channel and include more faith-based videos. I want to start posting on my Instagram more, but sometimes I feel crusty dusty, so I don't post. And I want to post more on TikTok, but it's okay if I don't get like TikTok famous. I'm not really looking for that. I just really like YouTube. Like I've always loved YouTube, so I really want to do well on YouTube, and that's on period. And I want to, another goal of mine is probably going back to school for marketing and, girl, slow down. I want to go back to school for marketing and communications. A lot of my friends say, Miz, why didn't you go into business? Why didn't you go into PR and all that stuff? Like, you're really good at it. And I feel like that's where my heart's at, because I do want to work with social media and brands. So I definitely thinking about going into that. So that's like a dream or a goal of mine, because it's something that I've recently been laid on my heart last year at the time of like, I don't know what I want to do with college, and like I've already been looking at colleges and talking to them, so it's like, girl, you're about to graduate and you're about to get back into college. So and that is part of ministry as well. So I want to do marketing, communications, and ministry leadership. And I think that's pretty much it. Biggest pet peeve that Christians do. I can't think of anything right now. It's not even that big. It's just like irks me a little bit. But it's like when you guys like see each other at church and like you guys know each other and like you guys don't say hi to each other. Like you guys genuinely like, oh, like you follow each other on Instagram, but you guys never say hi to each other at church, and it's just like so awkward. It's just like so awkward, and like that's my biggest pet peeve, I guess. My big pet peeve, because like, why did I get so dramatic? Like, we literally know each other and we see each other on Instagram, like we comment like each other's stuff, and like when I see you at church, it's like, I don't know you, bruh. And it's like, but anyways, how do you stay on track with your walk with the Lord? Yesterday I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't do it, but my church has a Bible study, so we're working in the book of Mark. I try to read songs or proverbs a day, and I have a prayer calendar from Daily Grace Co. And I do a prayer that tells me for the day, and I do my prayer journaling. I pray morning and night, and I pray every time I wake up in the morning. I also, when I'm editing, I listen to worship music, and like if I just don't have anything else going on, I listen to worship music. I also have a playlist on YouTube where it's like sermons to feed, like to fire me up, and I watch Bible studies, and I also watch sermons on YouTube. And then I also follow people on Instagram, and I also watch like Christian TikToks. Not saying that those are gonna fill me up, but it's like, oh, like okay, like I like look at some Christian TikToks, and then I'm like, okay, like I should probably go read my Bible. And so like that directs me back to like go reading my word. And then I have the books that I do read, they're all Christian and faith based, so it's not like I'm not reading anything that doesn't relate to God. Like everything relates back to God. And then I listen to a playlist all the time. What else is over there? Oh, and then I have a gratitude journal, which also relates back to God. So it has like a little story, and then it has a prayer, and then it tells you to reflect. So I really like that one. And then I also am doing another Daily Grace co-study, and that is going to be Fruits of the Spirit. So that is how I continue my walk with the Lord. I constantly try to keep reading. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of like reading and writing, but honestly it's helped me so much stay disciplined. I constantly have a bunch of playlists on Spotify, whether it is like gospel, whether it's like hip indie Christian music, rap Christian music, whether it's just like a playlist that I have made personally. So yeah, I just constantly feed my mind through that. And also it's really important on like for me, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I also follow a lot of I follow a lot of Christian Instagrammers, and I watch a lot of Christian influencers on YouTube, and I make sure that's like a priority that I do. I constantly clean out my subscriptions, my following, make sure I keep renewing my mind and my heart, that I'm following people that like actually add into me, like pour into me, like dang, I can't even get it out. I make sure I follow people who are pouring into me and who are in their word and they are rooted in Christ. So that is how I keep my walk with the Lord on fire, bro. Also, I serve at church on Sundays. I go to church on Sundays. And then sometimes my friend, he has like a Bible study game night. And then Wednesday, my friend has a discipleship class that she's invited me to, and they have a young adults. And then on Friday, I go to church for young adults. So I'm like really plugged in. Like I'm playing no games. Like y'all can't touch me. And that was a little dramatic, I'm so sorry, but that is how I stay rooted in God, okay? Do you believe in the one? And for me right now, I'm gonna say no. I don't believe in the one, just because no one's perfect. I remember in my past relationship, I was like, yeah, like this person isn't perfect, but like I was starting to love him so much, and I feel like God was like, no, like he's not the one. So like it's kind of like you can't love someone more for them to love you. And also I remember just feeling like this is exhausting, and love shouldn't feel exhausting. And I just was like, there's just no way that this, like looking back now, I was like, there's no way like this relationship can work, because there's so many things that I feel called to do, but I genuinely can't do them because I'm so focused onto this relationship. And I feel like, no, I don't think there's the one, because I'm not even the one that I want to be yet. So when I get to like, what's it called, where I want to, I feel like maybe I'm the only one who could be the one for myself. Like it starts with me like being the one for myself, and then like then God will like place that person into your life that who is like supposed to be for you when you're the one yourself. Does that make sense? Like when you're the one for yourself, and the other person who's supposed to be your future spouse is the one for themselves, and God knows you guys are supposed to, like God knows you're supposed to be together, then y'all are gonna be the ones together. Just kidding. I don't know. I just feel like there's no such thing as the one. Like there just genuinely isn't. Like we constantly break up, and you can constantly break up with people. You can constantly see like, oh, like this is not meant to be it. Like, you know, like we ghost people try apps, and like they date other people around. Like there's no specific one person for you. Like there's just no one specific person for you. Like there's just no, I don't even think there's soulmates at this point. Like no. Okay, so favorite book in the Bible, I'm gonna have to say Ruth, because that's my girl. I'm just kidding. Okay. What's the biggest struggle? What do you think is the biggest struggle in church today? Based on 2020 efforts, I'm gonna have to say social distancing, and that's my period. And how do you openly share your faith? I share my faith constantly, whether it's in my Instagram posts, on my YouTube. I like to share Bible verses on my Instagram. I notice that my Instagram following goes up and down like all the time. I have it in my bio as well. I like to post Bible verses. I like to post on Facebook like my church is having an event or they're having a service. So I constantly just like share all the time. And what is a Bible verse that gives you hope? It gives you hope. Oh, I don't have it. The verse that I have in my bathroom mirror that helped me since like the breakup was 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as a man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. And I think that always brings me encouragement, because I'm constantly thinking like, oh, they look so good, like their body goals on Instagram, and oh, I wish I looked like that. I wish my hair was long. I wish I had braids, and like, oh, I wish my body looked like that. How come she got so many likes on her pictures? Probably because she's pretty. But that verse that I just read to you brings me a lot of hope, because how my character is, how my heart is postured, how I'm speaking to people, how I'm loving people, how I'm serving other people is so much important than what I look like. Like what I don't need to look like an Instagram baddie. Like honestly, I look good like this. Like you don't even need to be wearing like no clothes to be looking good. Like I just don't understand. Like I used to like wear like super like revealing tops like when I was in my relationship. And I just don't understand like why I did that. Like I just don't understand like why I did that. Like I was looking poppin' with just a full long sleeve shirt on, covering everything. We're not gonna get into that. A Bible verse that I have in my bathroom mirror that helped me since like the breakup was 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as a man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. And I think that always brings me encouragement, because I'm constantly thinking like, oh, they look so good, like their body goals on Instagram, and oh, I wish I looked like that. I wish my hair was long. I wish I had braids, and like, oh, I wish my body looked like that. How come she got so many likes on her pictures? Probably because she's pretty. But that verse that I just read to you brings me a lot of hope, because how my character is, how my heart is postured, how I'm speaking to people, how I'm loving people, how I'm serving other people is so much important than what I look like. Like, what I don't need to look like an Instagram baddie. Like, honestly, I look good like this. Like, you don't even need to be wearing like no clothes to be looking good. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I used to like wear like super like revealing tops like when I was in my relationship, and I just don't understand like why I did that. Like, I just don't understand like why I did that. Like, I was looking poppin' with just a full long sleeve shirt on, covering everything. We're not gonna get into that. What is your opinion on healing and the gift of tongues? I have never personally like seen healing done like right in front of me, but I was in my discipleship class with my friend Karina on Wednesdays, and we were doing like prayer. Like, I was still beginning at prayer, and this was like the first time I've ever heard prayer like speaking in tongues, and it was by two of my friends, and I don't even know what it was, but I just started crying. I'd never heard anyone pray in tongues before, and like I was an emotional wreck. Like, I couldn't stop crying about it. I was in so much shock. I was like, that's so beautiful, and like it was breathtaking. Like, I just was like, does anybody hear that? And it was just so beautiful. Like, I honestly, 10/10, I'm a fan. Like, that stuff is beautiful. Like, speaking in tongues is a beautiful thing. Have you seen anything change in your life since giving your life to Christ? Yes. Everything. Everything has changed. Everything I've listened to this video multiple times, that has changed in my life. I'm currently about to start an internship. I'm going to be graduating in a few months. I'm so happy. And what else? Graduating in a few months, internship, so happy. YouTube again. I didn't think I was going to do YouTube again. I didn't think I was going to be confident speaking in front of camera. I didn't think I was going to be sad. I didn't think I would ever be happy again. Like, a lot has changed, and thank you, Jesus, because, man, I was really depressed in 2020. What does your channel look like in the future? The channel, Mizzle Baby channel, looks like in the future. I definitely want to keep giving advice in the future. We'll probably be at 10K subscribers. We'll probably be at 100K subscribers. I constantly want to help people, whether that is in self-care, self-love, you know, growing their relationship with God, helping people with their breakup, helping people get internships, figuring out their career path. You know, the things that have happened to me in 2020, I would have never thought those were ideas that would come to mind of wanting to help someone, because I've never been in those situations. But God allowed me to be in those situations so I can help other people. And I don't know what else is to come into store, but I know that helping people share my testimony is going to help so many other people. Giving advice is going to help so many people, whether that comes with being an influencer, content creator, working in social media. I want to do that, and I just have so much to share with you guys. I just see so many brand collabs, so many partnerships, just so many good things to come. Like, I can't even put it into words, because I simply don't know what God is coming up with, but I'm just saying this because the sky's the limit. That's what I love, and I just want to say thank you guys so much at the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate it, and I love you guys so much. And if you guys made it to the end of the video, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to comment down below and subscribe, because I will be back with more videos. I'm not playing this year. We are coming back-to-back videos every single day in January. We are doing videos every single day in January. So you guys, please put your notifications on, all the fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.